All right, time for the next lesson. Today we'll be looking at section 7.3, triangles. This is from page 336. So let's get started. Once again, a lot of writing and some definitions. When we get to the shapes, it might be helpful to actually get out your textbook, turning to this page, and putting your paper over the textbook so that you can kind of see through the paper and you can copy down the triangles. That way you can get them more accurately copied if you do that. You don't have to. If you want to just freehand draw it, you can. Just make sure they're accurate when they need to be accurate. You'll see what I mean as we go on. So the first thing we need to do is we need to define something. For triangles, congruent sides have the same length. You can classify a triangle by the number of congruent sides it has. So we first need this is a definition right here, congruent sides. When I say congruent sides, it means that they're equal to each other, okay? It means the side lengths are equal. All right, so here are the three types of triangles that are classified based on their side length. You have what we call a scalene triangle. It has no congruent sides. Then over here you have an isosceles triangle. It has at least two congruent sides. And it shows that they're congruent by putting these little marks right here. It's saying that this side length is congruent to this side length over here. So I think it says the tick marks indicate congruent sides of a figure. Equilateral means that all three sides, all the sides. Lateral means like a line or a side, okay? Equal mean they're all equal. So equilateral triangles have three congruent sides, okay? So scalene, isosceles, equilateral. You need to know these definitions. You need to know the words, know the definitions, know the figures that go with them, because I might give you the triangles and tell you and say, identify what kind of triangle this is. Now, you can also identify triangles based on their angles, the types of angles they have, okay? So, here are the three ones identified by angles. If it has a right angle, and this is one that has to be done accurately, a right angle truly is, well, is exactly 90 degrees. That's what a right angle is. So a right triangle has one right angle. An acute triangle has three acute angles. They're all smaller than 90 degrees. An obtuse triangle has one obtuse angle. This angle right here is bigger than 90 degrees, okay? So, you need to make sure that when you draw these, if you're just freestyling it, that you make sure that you do make this angle bigger than 90. And this one has to be exactly 90. Really helpful is to use like the blue lines on your paper as one side length, and then just go straight down or straight up, and that will help make an L shape, which is a right angle. All right, one last key concept, and this is where some math will come in once we get into some problems like that. We'll go over them in class, but a key concept is that the angle sums of a triangle, the sums of the measures of the angles of any triangle equals 180. Meaning that like these are the angles. You see these corners, like this right here is an angle. This right here is an angle. This right here is an angle. So this right here we know is 90. So that means these two over here together have to also equal 90, because that would be 90 plus 90 would equal 180. That's just an example, okay? So we'll use that by finding out missing sides, where it might tell us what this is and what this is, but then it might say, well, this is x. What does x equal? Well, we know that if you add them all together, they have to equal 180, so we'll use a little bit of subtraction to find the answer there. I'll show some examples in class. Just make sure you get all these definitions down and triangles written. All right, let us turn to the next part. And the next thing we're going to take a look at is something called quadrilaterals and other polygons. So, section 7.4, quadrilaterals and other polygons. Now, quadrilateral is referring to a four-sided shape, while polygons just refers to shapes. A polygon is any sided shape, sided. So like if it's 3 sides, 4 sides, 5 sides, 6 sides, 100 sides, it's a polygon. All right. And there's the actual definition of a polygon. A polygon is a closed figure. Closed meaning that it's not open like that. You see how that's got an opening? Even like, like that, it's still got an opening. For a closed figure, it has to be like that, okay? Closed figure that is formed by 3 or more line segments. The sides meet in only one endpoint. You see, they only meet at one point. You don't have a shape meeting at 3 points like that. See, that's not, you can't have that like that. So you classify polygons by the number of sides they have. So here we go. Here are the basic ones we're going to deal with right now. You have 3-sided, which is a triangle. 4-sided is known as a quadrilateral. And we're going to look at special types of quadrilaterals in just a minute. 5-sided is known as a pentagon, 6, hexagon, 8, octagon, 10 is a decagon. You also have 7 and 9. We're not going to go over those ones. But if you want to look them up, you can. Okay. A regular polygon is a polygon with all sides congruent and all angles congruent. An irregular polygon, it has sides that are not all congruent or angles are not all congruent. Meaning if you look at these, you see how they kind of look lopsided, like an octagon. Like if you think of an octagon, there's a common octagon you see almost every day driving to school. It's a stop sign. This has 8 sides, so it's an octagon. But does this look like a stop sign? No, because it's not, all the sides aren't equal. They're all done differently and the angles are different size. I mean, look at that. That one's a lot smaller than this one right here. That one's a lot bigger, opened. So you just have, these are irregular. All of these are irregular polygons. A regular polygon looks more uniform, more natural. Like, it's what we would consider the normal ones. But they're called regular polygons, those ones. All right. Let's look over this. So here we have some special types of quadrilaterals. And you need to learn these, and it takes a little while to get to know them. But the first ones we're going to take a look at is a trapezoid. And now if a quadrilateral is a trapezoid, it's only a trapezoid. It's nothing else, okay? So you can have a quadrilateral and it be a trapezoid. It's a trapezoid if exactly one pair of parallel sides. You see these little arrows indicate that they're parallel. So C and D is parallel to A and B. So these sides are parallel and these sides are parallel. It has to have only one pair. So that means these two cannot be parallel for this to be a trapezoid. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral that have both pairs of opposite sides. See, this has double arrows, double arrows. These two are parallel, these two are parallel. The ones that have single arrows are parallel to each other. There are 3 special types of parallelograms that we're going to go over. One is a rectangle. The definition of a rectangle is that it has 4 right angles. That's all it has to have. It doesn't say anything about its side. A rectangle, you only care about the angles, okay? The angles in the rectangle, and they have to be 4 right angles. A rhombus, you don't care about angles, you care about sides. All 4 sides have to be congruent, meaning they're the same length. And the last one is a square. A square has to have 4 right angles and 4 congruent sides. So that's what makes up a square. Now here's something kind of interesting that you will need to write down for yourself. But so if you take a look at these, remember these are 3 types of parallelograms. So each of these are parallel. Like look, you see this side is parallel to this. This is parallel to this. Same for these. So these are all parallelograms. So all 5 of these are quadrilaterals. This is a trapezoid. This is a parallelogram. These are all parallelograms down here too. This is a rectangle. This is a rhombus. The square, it is a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides. It is a parallelogram because the opposite sides are parallel. They're going the same direction. It has 4 right angles, so that makes it a rectangle. It has 4 congruent sides, so that means it's a rhombus. And because it has 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles, it is also a square. So, make sure you know all that. See you in class. Goodbye.